Alrighty, YouTube. So in today's video, I want to do something really simple, and I just want to talk about Nozel from Black Clover and why I think he's very misunderstood by a lot of people, including the fandom. There's just been way too many like Nozel slander, and I'm kind of getting tired of this shit. So today's video, we're just gonna dissect Nozel as a character and talk about why he is not the piece of shit people think he is, and why he's not a complete another terrible older brother to Noel. And to really start this, you have to really understand the full thing. So first off, let me just start with obviously there's going to be spoilers for anime only, going over the revelation we got from the Spade Saga, because that's where a lot of his arc is done. Believe it or not, wow, guys, woof, character arc in a story. Am I right? He would have guessed there was a character arc. So the most important thing to start with this is why do people think Nozel is such a piece of shit? Well, the reason why people think he's a piece of shit is mostly due to he's set up as one of the normals that are just very classist and racist towards peasants. So that's one of the bad thing to have there for Nozel. He's always going on about the great noble he is and so on, discrediting peasants and so on, just like the rest of his family with Nibra and Solid and literally every other noble we see besides like two of them. Yeah, honestly, Noelle is a little like that too, going on about her loyal status all the time. The series about how she's above peasant shit. She's just not as much of a dick about it. So my point is, wow, noble racist like every other noble. So yeah, that is definitely bad and a flaw, but at least he's starting to get out of that like everyone else, which is part of the story of Black Clover, where a lot of characters are starting to realize, oh yeah, these peasants aren't that bad because of Austin influence. We see this with Noel. We see this with Fagolion, with Leon, and just so many other people who are starting to accept peasants. Like what is her name? Goddamn Mimosa's older brother, the flower boy, dude. I can't remember his name for the life of me. So now we got that out of the way. The other reason why people tend to not like Nozel is due to the treatment he did to Noelle, calling her a failure, always shit talking her, saying how she killed their mother and so on, and just constantly putting Noelle down at every point is why Noelle have constant issues and self-confidence issues due to the bullying of their sibling. And the first thing I want to say is the real piece of shit sibling is Solid. All right, in Libra. No, Nozel is not that bad. Like, obviously, Nozel should have probably stepped in, but let's be honest. Do anyone else have sibling? All right. Sometimes one sibling's a piece of shit, you're often busy. I'm more blaming that on the father. All right. So, yes, Solid's a piece of shit who we see essentially bully Noelle by pouring water on her head, tearing up her teddy bear in some extended scenes in the anime, and just showing how much of a piece of shit Solid is and bullying her and all that. Nibra kind of just is a bit of a bitch as well, like shit talking Noelle, but we don't really see her do anything. So one of the worst bullying does come from Solid, where Nibra and Nozel just mostly shit talk a bit. So those are the accusations against Nozel. Yeah, that he's a bit racist. So is every other peasant, which we're starting to see in the, like I said, to accept peasants more. We see this in Space Saga versus Megicula, where he thinks everyone's there, which include Asta, and he starts to recognize the strength of everybody and not really caring of your status as much, which is good, progress, which is we've seen throughout the entire series. So the next part we want to get into is his mistreating Noelle, like fully, and after I explain how he mistreated her, which is simply on a verbal level, which is very bad. Don't get me wrong, and he is a dick for that. But he's not the worst, and he has some merit to why it's like that. And the reason for it is so the circumstances of the death of Acer, their mother of Noel, Solid, Nibra, and Nozel, is due to the curse that was placed on her by Magiclia. Because of this curse and subsequent death of the Acer, everyone assumed it was due to childbirth. And Nozel was not able to explain the attack of Magiclia that curse Acer and kill her due to the secondary effect he was hit by, which is he cannot tell anybody, and if he does, they will also get the curse and die. And he will die. So because of that, he can't tell anyone. And because he can't tell anyone, nobody knows the true reason for her death, and just assume it was because of Noel. And like a piece of shit people are, they blame her for it. This is a story we see all the time. And Nozel just had to go with it. There's not much he can really do. He can't like tell them they're wrong about it, which doesn't fully excuse when we get to it more. So not only is that the reason why he doesn't correct anybody and talk about she's not the reason why she died, and that's why one of the bullying is going on. But we also have the fact that during the fight of Magiclia and Acer, Nozel was protecting Noel, the infant Noel, holding her, and was powerless. He couldn't do a thing, and he blamed himself so much. It was terrible. Like I had the chapter up, and I just read it recently. It was definitely like heart wrenching reading that shit because you really just to see the inner working of his psyche. And if I actually pull it up right now and read that shit, uh, it's pretty like painful. What? Let me bring it up real quick. To really like give you a glance of his psyche because it is kind of sad. I believe it's somewhere right here. It's like 302, I think. Let's see, 303, right here. And you see, you get his inner thoughts. I couldn't do a thing. And you see him talk about when the cursing ward spell cast in Mother, I was hit by the secondary effect where he can't tell anyone, which you see why he didn't say anything. So you hear him go on, I can't tell anyone. I just have to do something about this myself. I have to save Mother. I have to find a way to save her. And this whole time, we see him in absolute despair. Like his eyes and everything, he is in complete and utter distraught, depression, despair, to the point that even his mother was asking him to please stop putting yourself in danger. It's not gonna work. It's easy to get that strong. Don't worry about me. Please live. And then you get some more dialogue. It's like 1 year later, she was sitting with the curse. Mother died. For that, I was so helpless. I couldn't do anything about it. All I can think is get stronger. I have to get stronger so that I can avenge Mother someday, so that I can protect my siblings. So here we have is the psychology of Nozel, where his entire thought process is his mother died. It's his fault, and he has to get stronger. He has to protect his siblings. He has to do everything. And he thinks to himself, Nebra and Solid are growing stronger as well. But despite how strong they're doing, they'd be no a match for an opponent like that. So they can't do anything, but they're getting stronger. That's fine. And then he thinks, Noelle, she is weak. There is no chance she'll get stronger. It would be best to shut her away. So, because of the fact that Noelle can't get stronger to be able to fight Magicla, he felt that it was better for her to just stay away from the battlefield, away from danger, and just live. Due to his blame to himself, he wants to protect them. And he thinks Solid and Yebra will be able to protect themselves on the battlefield. But he doesn't think Noelle can. And because of that, he doesn't want her to risk her life. Especially with the fact that she's the spitting image of their mother. She looks exactly the same to their mother. She was there. He was protecting her during that fight and nearly failed if it wasn't for their mother coming in to save both of them. He was helpless, and he was helpless with Noelle, and he doesn't want that again. We get the line, "Pharaohs like you aren't needed on the battlefield," which is why he said it like that. He's trying to discourage her. All right, this is what he said. If she's just going to end up feeling the way I do, I should keep distance from her, from the fight. So, like I said, going more about how he feel hopeless and terrible, and he doesn't wish that upon her. So he let her feel like she isn't strong enough to be on the battlefield and to stay out, than to be on the battlefield and feel like she's too weak to help anybody. And then you have the line, "Why did Mother have to die giving birth to someone like you? You killed our mother." Talking about, and this right here is more him talking about himself out loud. Like, again, he's going on with this facade to say she's too weak, she needs to go away, and that she killed their mother. To, like, disturb her and to stay away. But he says to himself in his mind, no, I killed her. I'm useless. I couldn't do a thing. I was afraid of losing more. I ran. I'm a coward. I'm not confident or determined enough to protect anything. At this point, I have no right to involve myself with you. So once again, we get into this. whenever he talks to Noelle to discourage her from fighting, he's doing it with the goal to keep her away and safe because she's not strong enough, and he'd rather her to stay away from the truth, to not know what really happened, so she doesn't feel the same despair he does, and to ultimately stay safe because he does care about her a lot. And the remarks about their mother being dead, those remarks is for him. He's not saying, because this is even different chat bubbles. There's the chat bubble of why did you mother have to die giving birth to someone like you. Then the separate chat separate chat bubble is you killed our mother. That is not for Noel. That is for him, which we see by his monologue in his mind about I was the one who killed her. I'm the useless one. So whenever we see him talking to Noelle and shit talking her, most of the time that's just him self projecting. And yes, that is a dick move. Don't get me wrong. That is terrible. That is really awful. It's to like self project like that. But at the same time, he couldn't do much. He couldn't tell them the truth. So all he could do was discourage her from getting strong to be on the battlefield to die. So there is merit to how he was in terms of you can understand him as a person. And it's not completely wrong to say he had a reason for what he did. It is not completely wrong to say he did care for them. And you get my point. He really does truly care about Noelle. He loves her. He loves all his siblings. We see him almost die protecting all three of them in the elf arc. And by the way, we later see this in the manga where he admits he was wrong. And he states this: I shouldn't have shut her away and kept her out of this. We needed to grow stronger together. And that's when they finally defeat Magiclia. And that is the moral of it. This is like the ending arc. Now the curse is open. They can now talk. And now, in full on it, like now he can admit he was wrong. He admit his faults in shutting out his sibling. And he admit that he should have been a better brother and to let her fight and grow stronger with him. That is what he realized. But to say that it was say he was like 13 at the time, maybe 15 at the oldest. For a 50-year-old that just watched their mother die and holding on to their sibling trying to protect them, I don't this is just true depression and despair. And this is a big burden to carry. So there's definitely a way to sympathize with Nozel and understand what he's doing. And that's why I feel like he's misunderstood, because he's not just one dimensional. He truly is a hurt person trying to protect his sibling, but he just, due to the curse, he is limited to how he can voice that and express that, which is why he can only just go on with what everyone else is saying. He can't dispute them and prove them wrong. And I will say though, if you read the manga and see the Magiclia fight, Nozel was a Chad the whole time. He was just completely and utterly a savage with constant like depiction of him being completely angry, drawn with lines that just shows his emotion just going wild, going all out to really emphasize how he the first thing he says when he went to Magiclia was just lines go hard. How dare you show yourself in front of my family again? You have no idea how long I waited for this moment. Well, with one of the coolest and hardest panels in manga history. Nozel is a badass character, and he truly do care about his family. And the last proof I want to show, well, not really show, but, just explain that he does care about Noelle, is the Dream World incident where Noelle was talking to Dorothy, and Dorothy told Noelle the truth about Magiclia and how Nozel was carrying this all on his own. He truly cared about them and how terrible it was. We see her recreate Nozel how she knows Nozel. Nozel was constantly going on about how he loves Noelle, how she is his precious sister, and all he wants to do is protect her and all this shit. And that's how it is. And another thing, by the way, I love this shit. Nozel is a tsundere, just like Noel, and it's great. Apparently, that is the personality type. So you know how we got right here in this panel after the fight, being like, "Oh, what do I do now? I haven't seen Asta in ages. I'm Friel, but I'm too embarrassed to look him in the face after like telling him how I felt." So you have like the little tsundere thing with Noel, and then Noel look at Nozel and be like, "The curse is broken, and yet I don't know how to talk to Noel." So here he is. He can finally tell her the truth, and he's too embarrassed. I don't know how I'm able to. Sorry, this is funny. I know that I'm able to. I don't know how to talk to Noel. So this really shows how he really wants to tell her the truth and how he truly feel and apologize for this shit. But he got the Silva curse, where he's also a tsundere about his feeling and don't know how to express it. And B, just now is he able to do it. Just now is he able to tell the family. You know what I mean? So, and we do get to see him say one line about it all. Let me just double check, make sure this is all the line he said. Let me just go for the panel. But he does make one line to Noel, and he says, "I suppose it's thanks to him that that Noel grew stronger." So he does like thank someone. He say he did thank Yami for helping Noel get stronger, and he had gratitude towards Yami for assisting his sister. Like I said, the whole thing is just overall great. Already a 10 out of 10. And he also, by the way, funny thing. So as we know, Noelle armor like rips apart her clothing. I just want to point out in this chapter after the fight, Noelle is wearing a Mercury dress made by Nozel. So I just want to say I find that funny. The first thing this son of a bitch do was clothe his sister. And then what became a tsundere about his feeling about the truth. So anyways, this has been my video about why I think Nozel is misunderstood and underrated. And I'd like to thank everybody that made it this far in the video. It definitely means a lot to me. Be sure to hit the sub button, like, and check out my other Black Clover video of the one I did of explaining antimatter for dummies. Noel is underrated, and the truth about the what's happening to the manga right now and the civilization of the story. And next week, I will also be making a video probably gonna be reviewing the arcs of Black Clover. I'm not sure. Maybe I might think of a different topic. If you guys have any topics you want me to discuss and go in about certain character analyzations and misunderstanding of the series, please comment that below. And thank you very much. And I hope to see you guys in my live streams later. And I hope you have a good day. Bye.